Richard Branson's space tourism company Virgin Galactic is reaching for the stars a little sooner than we first thought. The much-hyped launch of its commercial flights is set to take off at the end of this month as competition from other billionaires ramps up. For more on this, we're joined now by astrophysicist Dr. Matt Agnew in Melbourne. Good morning to you, Matt. Talk us through Virgin Galactic's announcement. How significant is it?
Yeah, it's exciting. They've obviously kind of parked things for a couple of years, largely driven by regulatory and investigatory reasons. But they're ready to hit the ground running now, or hit the space running. And yeah, it's exciting. Just more people operating in this area is good for SpaceX access. It's going to drive innovation and ideally reduce costs and make things cheaper, safer, and better.
You alluded to it there, but Virgin Galactic has had a few ups and downs recently. What kind of challenges has it faced to get to this point?
So the large one was that they drifted out of their assigned airspace, I believe, in one of their early flights, and that required a significant investigation just to find out what happened. That's obviously serious business if you're not remaining within your confined airspace. I think space tourism as a whole as well, it's kind of taken a little bit of a backseat. Obviously, the last few years, it's been a really challenging time globally for everyone, and it's borderline obnoxious to be playing in that kind of space when things are really tough. So there's some of it's regulatory, some of it I imagine is coming from a place of more important place to allocate resources.
So we call it space tourism. Can you give us an idea of how these flights will actually work? How long are they in space? Where do they go?
Yeah, so they all vary a little bit. Some of them use kind of your traditional rocketry. This one in particular, Virgin Galactic, has this sort of plane that lifts a shuttle space plane craft and then deploys that once at 40,000 feet, and then that takes the passengers the rest of the way into suborbital altitudes, which is about 80 kilometres. The flight itself only goes for a couple of hours, just under a couple of hours, and you actually only get about 4 or 5 minutes in space with weightlessness. So it's a pretty steep price for 4 or 5 minutes of glory.
Would you? I mean, if you had the money, Matt, would you do it?
If I had access to that sort of money, and I'd fulfilled my own passions and made certain impacts, and yeah, sure, of course, I'd love to go to space. I'm trying to put on the good moral hat, but of course, if I had the chance to go to space, I'd take it.
Okay, well, we know that Richard Branson isn't the only big name in the industry. There's a fierce competition from some other billionaires out there. Do you think space travel is going to become more affordable since there seems to be this race to do it?
I think so, yeah. It's the usual competition breeds innovation. We've seen that having innovation in that area does drive prices down. The best example of that is putting a kilogram of payload into space during the space shuttle era cost about $50,000 per kilo, and now SpaceX has gotten that down to about $1,500 per kilo, so a drop of about 95% in putting things into orbit. So that's just one company that's been operating. SpaceX, obviously now with these additional ones, Virgin Galactic, and Amazon's or Bezos's Blue Origin, and likely there'll be more competitors entering the space. That should also drive those prices down, but more importantly, make it more routine, safer, and better overall.
Okay, Dr. Matt Agnew, thanks for joining us this morning. Over to you, Claire.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.